Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today we are back with another Dragon Ball figure bi-weekly news video. Ladies and gentlemen, we have lots to talk about today. As you can see up at the top bar, we are jam-packed with brand new figure shenanigans to cover. Lots of exciting stuff to discuss in this video, so we are going to hop right into it. As per usual, we obviously do these every 2 weeks, so we're going to be starting off from when we left off on the last bi-weekly video, which was this baby video, which was on the 15th. By the way, if you want, when we get to this point, right, obviously we're going to talk about some of these figures again. Today's just a general overview, but for a more detailed opinion of mine on these, definitely go check that out, and definitely go check out my Xeno Goku Black figure review unboxing video where I take a look at the two from two different third-party companies. It was a very good video. I worked very hard on it. Thank you. I appreciate you. Let's get into it, baby. So, we did have Dragon Ball weekly news for the 19th, or I'm sorry, it was the 18th rather. Was the last date that we covered. Oh, don't worry, we'll talk about him. Hold on, Cooler. Take a step back, brother. It ain't your turn yet. So, unfortunately, we did not have any figure stuff. However, in terms of merch, we did actually, well, I guess to be fair, King Cold, yeah, but very interesting. They finally released the new Dragon Ball Super card game Fusion World, and that is available in stores. People have been able to actually find that on the shelf. So if you are interested in that, definitely go take a look at your local like Target or Walmart or what have you to see if you can find it. However, unfortunately with King Cold, which I guess we may as well just talk about him right now, they didn't show anything else except for just that initial picture. And funny enough, they talked more about Sandland in this video than they did Dragon Ball, which is a little goofy to say the least. But hey, you know, it is what it is, I suppose. So let's talk about King Cold, and then we'll go to this bad Mama Jamma right there, because I'm actually pretty excited to talk about that. So King Cold, right, obviously is the newest figure coming to us from Premium Bandai. As you can see here, this bad boy is a hefty price tag of 150 big ones. Yes, sir. That is a pretty expensive figure right there. Now, what is the justification for the price with this guy? Why are they charging so much for this dude? Well, let me give you the details. So he is going to be coming out in October, right? And the reason why this guy is so expensive is because he is pretty big. If we take a look at him next to Mecha Frieza here, you can see that even sitting down, my man is giant. And I know what you're also probably thinking, wait a minute, he comes with a throne? Yes, indeed. If we go down here and we take a look at the funny pictures here, right? King Cold enters the fray, right? Some pretty cool stuff. It doesn't look like there's a lot of faces, but we'll take a look at that in a second. 2200 is what I was going to say. That's not accurate. 220 millimeters tall is how big the boy is. And he comes with Trunks' sword, which is pretty funny. Also, guys, you have to spell it right. Not only does he come with... No, actually, I guess that is right. I was going to say he comes with. I guess it is. Not only does he come with Trunks' sword. That's technically correct, right? So, yeah, you do get these grasping hands, right? But it doesn't also look like he comes with that many hands. But this is what's really interesting about this guy. He comes with a throne, which is really interesting. He actually comes with that throne piece. So let's go down here, right? He comes with the main body, right? So obviously that would be the, you know, regular face, which I believe is this one, right? Where he's just smiling. And then it would be the fists, right? That would come on him there. And then you get 3 different sets of hands, a interchangeable head. Really? Interesting. I'm not exactly sure what that's for, because I don't really see in here, unless I'm missing something. What is the head interchangeable for? Is it for this? I don't see a different head in these images. That's interesting. Well, apparently he comes with an interchangeable head, but he also comes with 3 expression parts. Okay, so the smirk is there, right? So let's see. So what are all of the expressions then, right? This is the default one. So he comes with this little bit more smirking face, which is obviously for the throne, right? he has the, okay, the screaming face and the gritting teeth face. So that is all he comes with. Yeah, okay, I guess that makes sense. The folded arms, which we did see, right? And the seat and the interchangeable cape, which is really interesting. So I think when they mean interchangeable cape, it is quite literally just the cape that you would use for the throne, right? Because as you can see here, right, the cape is one solid piece, right? It's just a giant piece of plastic that comes off the back of him, right? But then they give you a quote-unquote interchangeable cape, which is the one that kind of sits over the chair. So I know a lot of people have been kind of discussing the price of this guy. Like, is he worth $150? I guess that's up to you to decide, right? I mean, it is a pretty big figure, all things considered, but the thing about him is that obviously, right, he does come with that big extra throne piece, which would kind of be, I suppose, where the justification for the extra pricing would be, besides the fact that he's big. I don't think $150 is necessarily right. Maybe more like $100 or $90 would be more on the fair side, right? But I guess it does come with an extra big piece, so that is kind of up to you to decide for that one. And ironically enough, by the way, Full Power Frieza is still not sold out on Premium Bandai. And if we look up, oh wait, I just realized Mecha's gonna be those mechas. I think Mecha Frieza is now off of pre-order, yeah, so you can't get him with King Cold if you missed Mecha Frieza. But it is kind of interesting because I do wonder if this guy will actually sell, because obviously the fact that Full Power Frieza, which I would think would be, you know, the most popular out of those three figures, right? You know, he would have probably sold out by now, but unfortunately Premium Bandai is Premium Bandai, so it's kind of unsurprising that he's not sold out. So I do wonder how well this figure will do, because I don't think a lot of collectors might end up picking this guy up. But let me know if you plan on buying this guy, because I would be interested to hear what you have to say and your thoughts on the price tag as well. Now, I'm actually really excited to talk about this. I believe I talked about it a little bit in that other video that I did for the like in-between prize figure video, but this is super cool. As you can see, right, we are getting a brand new effect set for the, technically it's for Super Saiyan Full Power Goku, which is like a little bit funny because I don't think that anybody's going to be using him, honestly, because, well, I don't know. Full Power Goku is not necessarily a lot of people's favorite figure when it comes to that type of thing. But I could definitely see people using him with this guy, right? I could see it definitely being, hello Luffy, seeing this being used with that, right? So here are some more HD pictures of this, right? As you can see, this is going to be coming out in July, and apparently this is already up for pre-order. Let me actually, I'll pull this up in another tab for all of you. Let me check and see if this is available on Big Bad Toy Store. But what's really cool about this is that obviously, as you can see here, it is a basically more like detailed aura effect, essentially, right? Where they have essentially, instead of just the usual generic back plastic piece, they have a little bit more detail on it. And the cool thing about it is that, as you can see, right, it actually kind of goes down to the feet now. Oh, hello. How are you doing, good sir? Which is really interesting, right? And they also actually use it for, funny enough, this way, which I've seen some people use in the past, which is pretty cool. But yeah, the interesting thing about this, right, is that it's like an extended piece, right? And there's a bunch of different, like, you know, aura effects that you could technically connect to this, right? So you have like this one, which I believe is the one that they're using for this flying pose here, where it kind of looks like they're putting that bottom piece that is right here over the bottom of this, so then you don't see the part with the legs. Very, very cool. I actually think that this is going to be an awesome set. And a little bit of an extra piece there too. But this aura looks awesome. I like that this is a lot more detailed. It's layered, and not to mention, right, obviously, you'll be able to get a lot more versatility with that, I feel like, than you will the, like, normal one, because obviously it just kind of sits on the ground. And obviously it does come with a Kamehameha, which is pretty cool. It does have the hands actually attached, right? So you're not actually like putting it in his hand for this. You're attaching the figure to that, which I think is pretty good. This will be a a test to see how good the joints are on a lot of these figures, because some figures cannot even reach their arms this far forward when it comes to SH FIGUARTS figures. So it'll be interesting to see if your SHF figures can even actually get this pose with plugging it into the Kamehameha effect. And I will say this is really cool that it comes with this base with the rocks on it. That is definitely a lot more unique than just the generic plastic base. And obviously it is a little bit more heavy duty to be able to hold up the aura effect. And the other cool thing that is going to be a part of this is, you can see it right there, a Super Saiyan windswept hair piece. A lot of third-party companies have really been cooking on these windswept hair pieces because there's something that collectors have been wanting for a fat minute, but Bandai has not been delivering on it. So it's really interesting to see that out of the woodwork they're starting to do more of these. Ooh, I don't know if you heard that big boom outside. It's currently thunderstorming out. That was really loud. Holy cow. But it's very cool though. I really like the way that this looks, and I don't know if I'll be using this on this Goku, to be honest, because realistically, right, when it comes down to it, I'm not really the biggest fan of that particular Goku, so I may use this headpiece on another Goku, but it's still really cool to have all these options. And this also is really interesting. I'm seeing this little like extra Kamehameha effect piece, but I don't see in here where it's on display. I guess it's this one, right? Okay, so I guess this is their excuse. Maybe this is what they're using in case, funny enough, what I was talking about occurs, right? Where a figure can't actually reach its arms forward far enough to be able to plug in, right? They have this one where you just plug it into the ball effect of the Kamehameha, right? And then basically you just set it up next to as far as the figure's arms can go here, so then it has the illusion of firing the blast. Regardless, though, this is really cool, and I'm actually pretty excited to get this, I'm not gonna lie. I am definitely looking forward to this release. I'll absolutely be picking this guy up. Well, this effect set, rather. It's going to be really cool to take some pictures with this. And yes, by the way, this guy is indeed available right now on Big Bad Toy Store for 35 bucks, which I believe is the price of the other effect set that they previously released for the Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku that also came with a windswept hair piece. It's the one with all the little like air blast effects, basically. I don't think they have a recommended section, so it's not just going to pop up there. But yeah, pretty cool, honestly. I really like this, and I honestly think this is a decent price. I mean, this is basically the price of like a, you know, over-the-counter like general release figure that doesn't come with any accessories, right? And you're not only getting an extra head sculpt, but a stand and all these different effects. So honestly, I think it's pretty fairly priced. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm definitely pretty excited for that one. Now, moving on from that, we do have a bunch of pre-orders that have gone up on Big Bad Toy Store, and we will take a look at all of these guys in a second, right? These are all the prize figures that are going to be dropping for the next month that we didn't have yet. Again, I did do a solo video on that already, but we'll go over it just real quick before we, you know, move on to the next one, right, to whatever would come after there. This one, unfortunately, again, did not have any figure news for this Dragon Ball Weekly News, but apparently they're already starting tournaments for the card game, so that is pretty cool. Oh yeah, so again, I know we mentioned this in the last video, but definitely keep your eye on Big Bad Toy Store, because they have daily deals, and they had Imagination Works Goku in there. I don't think they do now. Oh my gosh, SH FIGUARTS Batman on sale. Yeah, occasionally they have Dragon Ball figures in this daily sale section that they have on Big Bad Toy Store, and I've seen some crazy sales on here within the past couple of weeks, so I would highly recommend keeping your eye on this just to see. And not to mention, right, they also have been having a clearance section, right, with a bunch of different stuff, as you can see here, right? Look at these awesome prices for a bunch of these figures, right? Some of these, it kind of makes sense why they're in the clearance section, but some of these are actually really solid figures that I would highly recommend picking up. I think these are great prices for a lot of these. If you're interested in this sort of thing, definitely look. Like even some older Ichiban Kuji figures. I love this Broly figure. It's one of my favorite figures in my collection, so definitely keep your eye on Big Bad Toy Store to see if you can find any good sales. Tails. SpongeBob being there next to Goku is so funny, by the way. Yeah, again, more daily deals. They had the Ginyu Force in there for the first, so definitely check that out. If you can check into that daily, honestly, that would be great if you're trying to snipe a fantastic deal. We had another Dragon Ball weekly news, and unfortunately, again, no figure for this one. But again, they talked about the Breaker stuff, and obviously, you know, funny Sandland. Woo! Not too much on dbzfigures.com for this bi-weekly one, but of course, I will leave a link to them in the description below. They always hold it down with the good overviews of everything. And let us move on to what we got coming up next. So, this guy is releasing in Japan, and we did go over these pictures in that other video, so I'm not going to talk about this too much in this video. If you want to see my more detailed shenanigans about this guy, definitely go check out that video. However, it is cool to see that obviously this is finally releasing, and there's also something very funny about the fact that this is releasing now. We will be getting this guy very soon, actually, because obviously February was the month that he was going to be releasing in Japan, but for us here in the States, this guy is actually going to be coming out in March. So definitely keep your eye on your Premium Bandai account to check in to see when this guy is shipping, because obviously I'm sure people are going to be very, very excited to get their hands on this guy. But yeah, very cool that he is finally releasing. I'm very excited to get my hands on him and do a video on him myself, because he looks really, really cool. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to all these different tweets we got lined up. I promise you this will not take that long. This was really interesting. So apparently they actually have Kinder Surprise eggs, and these figures actually look pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie. Dragon Ball Super eggs have released in Italy, and honestly, these figures don't look too bad. So if you are in Italy and you see these in whatever store these would be in, I'm not entirely sure, definitely see if you can cop one and see what the figure looks like inside, because honestly, this is pretty decent. I'm shocked that it looks that good, to be 100% honest with you. Yeah, I believe these were also released in Japan in some form or fashion, and they didn't look this good, so it's interesting to see that they maybe improved the quality, which is kind of cool, obviously. Alright, so, of course, right, we talked about these guys in the last video. However, I'll, of course, go over them real quick. These are the figures. They're going to be coming out in July, right, for our prize figure lineup. We got Cooler, Goku, Tien, and Cell, right, as well. Obviously, we have the re-release of Gohan that has the shading, right? So, that is pretty cool. Obviously, some very, very nice releases. And some more news since that video dropped. First of all, these figures are actually going to be a lot bigger than normal, it seems. Cooler is going to be 17 centimeters, Cell is going to be 20, and Tien is going to be 18, which is really interesting, right? It's not like incredibly bigger, but it's definitely a lot bigger than what we have been getting for the past couple of the years at this point. So it's really interesting to see that they are making these a little bit bigger, and Baggy has a little bit of speculation that could be very interesting. They changed the full allowance price for figures in Japan for all new July Dragon Ball prize figures. So Edgeworks Gohan re-release is still below the max limit. Basically, that's something I believe with like the game stations that, you know, would have them in the crane games actually purchasing the figures. But these should be minimum heights going forward, then, is basically what this information tells us. So, if that is the case, we talked about in a previous video that they're actually bringing back the Grandista line for One Piece. I do wonder if that would then mean that potentially Dragon Ball could be getting more Grandista in the future. That would be insane if that was the case, and I would definitely be super hyped if that was. Broly was the only Dragon Ball figure that they changed the max price allowance for last year, since he was significantly bigger than the others. Yeah, you can see how big he is in comparison to that Goku there. So yeah, very interesting. We'll have to see if that actually amounts to anything going forward. But obviously, I skipped through those guys a little bit because we have the multi-angles for these guys. And this is something that I was really excited to see. These figures definitely look really, really good. Goku looks very simplistic, but I think it looks good, right? I think they definitely did a very good job with him. I really, really like the hair. It's interesting to see that, like, his back doesn't look as, like, shredded almost. It looks like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's very like soft on the sculpt, which is really interesting that it is sculpted like that. But I think it looks pretty good, honestly. This is definitely a figure that I will be getting as well. Obviously, we do have Cooler to go along with him. And holy cow, dude, this guy looks great from every angle. I am definitely pretty excited to get this guy. He looks great as well. Obviously, here's one of the special production images. We also have Cell from a bunch of different angles, excuse me. He also looks fantastic. The wings look really, really well sculpted. So that is pretty cool to see. He looks good from all angles. His neck does look like he's got a little bit of gamer neck going on there, to be 100% honest with you. But I think overall he still looks really, really good. It's interesting to see that the wings kind of have like a blue outline there. That's really peculiar. But yeah, pretty cool. Maybe he does have a blue outline and I just don't remember that. I swear it's always been black, but you can let me know in the comments on that one. And we have the boy Tien. Very, very cool, right? Definitely very excited for this figure as well. Definitely very interested to see how they do the stand for this guy too. Yeah, he looks really good though. I'm definitely very, very excited for him. The expression from like the bottom up looks really, really nice too. Here are the special production images in high quality. As you know, they always do these where they kind of like do a little bit of an edit for the figure. So that is pretty cool to see. Dude, that Cell one is gas. Oh my gosh. So cool. Yeah, definitely very, very nice. I love the figure photography that they do for these, basically. Okay, so moving on from that, we did have the boy... Oh, that's... I forgot. That's the funny horse girl. Right here, right, we have Gogeta. Obviously, he has just released in Japan, which is really cool. Obviously, we've been talking about this Gogeta figure for a little while now. And it is interesting. I wanted to show you this picture as well. Obviously, these guys are the BOS figures, right? Where they kind of have this whole gimmick where the hair is shiny. I wanted to show you the difference where lighting makes all the difference when it comes to these figures, right? Because I feel like it looks a little bit kind of dull here, right? And it doesn't look as good. And especially for some reason, I feel like his shoulder pads kind of look a little bit washed out. But look at the lighting here, right? They look a lot more lime green. And I feel like the blue pops a lot more, especially in this picture right here. So it's really interesting to see, you know, every time that like I look at a figure and I'm like, dang, the lighting really does make all the difference, I swear. But yeah, very, very cool. Obviously, I am going to get this guy at some point. Probably not in the future, or not in the near future, I should say, because I have so many Gogeta figures already. But with that being said, I do definitely want to get him at some point. So moving on from him, this was actually pretty cool to see. We got a bunch of Ichiban Kuji finals, obviously for April and May, right? We knew that a bunch of this stuff was coming, of course. We've talked about it in the last couple of figure news videos. But if we go on Hobby Denki here, if I click on this, can I scroll through it? No. Okay. It'll just be big and then go away. So here is Cell, right? Obviously, let's get a little bit of the close-up on the face. This guy looks pretty good, I would say. I feel like his face is a little blocky, but I think he still looks really good overall, right? I definitely still think that I am fine with having my original crossed arm Cell, which is obviously kind of like the other variant, sort of this figure. But he does look pretty good, all things considered. Trunks finals, he also looks good. I will say, the only thing for me is that even though I think the figure looks nice, I don't particularly care for the expression, right? And I don't think that that's really anything that is to the fault of the figure, I guess. Like, it's not like the figure is bad quality. It's just not my preference, right? I would have rather that they just kept his mouth closed, right? Instead of having this weird, like, little teeth grit thing. It's just kind of a little bit weird looking. Gohan, though, looks very, very good. Obviously, this was a figure that I know a lot of people are looking forward to. I feel like he almost looks better from this angle because I feel like he has almost like too many strands of hair or something there. Maybe it's just kind of like I haven't looked at Future Gohan in a while, but I swear his hair looks more like, you know, like Super Saiyan teen or adult Gohan rather than like with all of this going on. Also, does the orange look a little bit washed out, I feel like? Regardless, though, he still looks pretty good with the sculpt. I definitely like how the face turned out. And the scar is so good. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, he looks nice. This is definitely a figure that I was interested in seeing from the set, so I'm glad to see it. Vegeta also turned out really well. Obviously, this is a very cool scene, and I know a very memorable one for a lot of people, so I'm glad to see that this figure also turned out very good, right? He looks very, very nice. It is a bit of a shame, again, that, like, man, why did they do, like, just Trunks again? I mean, I know why. It's because they're being lazy and they have another figure that's almost the same thing, so they can just, you know, do it again. But I would have loved if they would have made a Trunks to, you know, be compatible with this Vegeta, because obviously, you know, they both do the thing together. Maybe they'll release him in a future Ichiban Kuji, and that's how they're going to try and get your money. Oh, now it clicks in? Okay. Hercule also looks good. The expression is very exaggerated, I will say, which I feel like would look good for Hercule, but it does kind of make the eye a little bit weird, I won't lie. Like, it's not the worst looking figure I've ever seen, but I swear it looks like way too lopsided. It kind of almost looks a little bit bootleggy on the eye, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it's just this particular copy of this figure, but yeah, it looks a little bit strange on the eye for sure. Here's some of the smaller prizes, by the way. You have some cups, right? Bunch of cool stuff here. Some little stand-up acrylic stands, which is cool. This, which, by the way, is just the postcards that were behind those little things. Some redraws of these, right? Obviously, these are all just the smaller prizes. And then we get into the pictures of this Ichiban Kuji, which I believe, by the way, Omocha Headchilla. That's a different one. Okay. I thought we were getting into that one already. I forgot this is obviously from this set that Goku and King Kai are from. Yeah, Goku looks fantastic. I think this is like easily the best figure in the set. I'm still really disappointed that this isn't going to be coming overseas. I don't understand why, because this would have sold out like instantly. They're literally throwing away free money. I don't get it. And obviously the fact that it comes with King Kai as well, right? Like, why? Why would you not bring this overseas? I don't understand, but oh well, it is what it is, I guess. We did also have some pictures from Hobby Denki as well of this Ichiban Kuji too. Gotta say, I'm still not really a fan of Goku's face, right? Or Gohan's for that matter. I feel like his face looks a little bit weird as well. But yeah, I don't know. Something about Goku's face is just a little bit off-putting, honestly. It looks a little bit weird. But it's definitely not that bad. It could also kind of be like a stylistic thing, but I swear it just looks a little bit off to me. However, Raditz looks really, really good. Holy cow, they cooked with the boy Raditz. He looks great. Again, I talked about this in the video where he was initially debuted. It's interesting that they went for this look where his hair is almost like a little bit more shaggy, where it's kind of like parted on the sides sort of a little bit, rather than being a little bit more like out everywhere. But I think both looks fit the character, and honestly, I think he looks really good. He has like these huge hair spikes over here too, but yeah, definitely really, really like how that guy turned out. This figure might be my favorite from the set. Now, that's going to be hard to compete with Piccolo though, but holy cow, they cooked with this Gohan. This one is one of my favorites from this one for sure. Like, this is an easy cop. Look at this, dude. This looks so cool. They did a fantastic job with him for sure. Piccolo also looks really, really good, you know, as to be expected, I suppose. But, man, they did such a good job with this guy, right? Everything about him just looks fantastic. Gohan looks good as well, too. His eyes kind of look a little bit far apart there, but it might also just be the angle. Because, like, from, where were we? Like, here, well, to be fair, he's kind of covering his eye there. But still, I feel like, you know, he looks good regardless, right? So very interesting to see. Oh yeah, Vegeta. What happened to my boy? I'm sorry, bro. Like, this figure just does not look that good. The body is at least correct, but the face literally looks like a bootleg. This looks like a bootleg figure, unfortunately. Cell, dude, they're not going to show pictures of Cell. Oh, here's the small acrylic stands. Oh, that's cool. It's the side of the manga with all the characters running. That's awesome. Are they really not going to show? Okay, here's a bunch of the smaller prizes. Surely they're saving him for last, right? The Scouters are cool. That's dope. I think those are little keychains. That's pretty cool. Very, very interesting. Yeah, there's Semi-Perfect Cell. That's what I was looking for. He looks so good, dude. Holy cow. I mean, as good as Semi-Perfect Cell can look, because obviously he's ugly, but the figure of him looks good. It makes him look good, ugly. The figure looks nice. The character himself has always been ugly, but that's the point of Semi-Perfect Cell. So very, very good job. They definitely cooked with him for sure. I really like that guy. All right. So yeah, that's everything for that Ichiban Kuji. Very, very cool. Omocha Headchala did also take some pictures of these. We won't go through these for too long, but obviously he took a lot more angles of these. Yeah, definitely something about Goku's face is really off. Yeah, seeing Gohan's from a more front-on angle, he also looks a little bit strange, I swear. I guess it's because they're trying to maybe do this a little bit more. Like, they're trying to get what was going on in the manga, but I feel like they just don't nail it. Like, that's why the mouth looks so lopsided like that, right? Where it kind of looks like it's on an angle almost. Because that's how it was in the manga. Gohan's eyes were definitely closer together, though, in the manga. Even though here they do make them really small, like how they are in the manga. But, yeah, I don't know. I think that the Gigantic Series one is still the better figure, in my opinion. Raditz, yeah, look at him, dude. They cooked so hard with my boy. I'm so happy that Raditz has a good figure. This is definitely going to be like the staple Raditz figure in my collection, which is so funny to say, but yeah. Because I definitely don't have one. Oh, it's from this. Interesting that they made him look to the side. And not front on. Like it is from the manga panel that it's referencing. Huh, that's really interesting. I wonder why they decided to go that route. Yeah, Gohan looks fantastic. I wanted to see the multi-angles of this, dude. You can see all the detail in the cracked capsule. Holy cow, they did such a good job with this one. I'm really excited to get that one. I didn't even notice the Dragon Ball was clear on his hat. That's awesome. Yeah, they did a very good job on this, for sure. Let's see. I know we have one more being Piccolo. Yeah, this was the one that I really wanted to click on this for, because obviously we didn't get that many angles from the Hobby Denki one. Dude, oh my gosh. Yeah, it looks good. It looks so good. I'm really, really excited for this Ichiban Kuji, honestly. And crazy enough, we have another Ichiban Kuji to still look at that's brand new in this video at the end, which is crazy because obviously, you know, we've already looked at a bunch of Ichiban Kuji stuff for this video. But yeah, very, very well done for sure. Yeah, what did they do to my mans? What did they do to him? Why did is it because it's trying to get this angle? And that's why it looks so weird? His eyes like aren't small enough, I feel like, on the figure. Very interesting. Yeah, semi-perfect cell, though, they definitely cooked on him for sure. That angle is fire. Very, very cool. Yeah, this Ichiban Kuji, I might have to get a bunch from this. They did a good job on the eyes, too. I feel like they also could have been maybe a little bit smaller, but I feel like they still did a pretty good job overall. Yeah, very, very interesting. I wanted to look at those because obviously there's a couple more angles. I'm really excited for that Kuji, though. By the way, I just wanted to point this out because this was kind of funny. From these two Ichiban Kujis that we looked at, right? In this one, for the smaller prize, they have Goku as Super Saiyan doing the, you know, father-son Kamehameha. And then in this one, they have him base form. It's so funny that they just do both. Very, very goofy. But yeah, so this was pretty interesting, too, for Vegito. As you can see here, right, we had the March dates, right? And for Vegito and Gohan, as you can see, both of these guys actually are releasing today on the release date of this video, which is really, really cool. Oh yeah, I forgot that Toon Blue Eyes is coming on. I'm gonna have to get that too. But very, very interesting for Gohan. Look at how tiny this figure is, dude. Holy cow. This is insanely small. If you have ever seen one of these boxes in the store that's like the, you know, Bam Presto prize figure boxes, you know how big that box is. Look at this. That is tiny. I feel like if this guy was like so much cheaper priced, it wouldn't be as bad. Like if they were charging basically minifigure prices for this guy, it would be fine. But the fact that he is the same price as the rest of the prize figures is completely egregious. Absolutely disgusting business practice. But what do you expect from Bandai? Unfortunately, right? Moving on from Gohan, though, in terms of Vegito, right? As you can see, he turned out pretty good. I actually really like Vegito's hair color, like Baggy notes. It definitely looks really, really good, I would say. Obviously, there is Gohan as well. Yeah, definitely very, very good on Vegito. I like the way that his hair color turned out for sure. This was also very interesting. For those of you in Europe, apparently the old Dokkan 6th Anniversary Super Saiyan 2 Gohan Ichiban show is getting re-released this week, which was the 25th of February. So that means that this guy should be out and about if you really want this figure. I personally am not that big of a fan of him because I got him back in the day. I have a video up on one of the channels of unboxing him, but If you want this guy, he is now available. So it's really interesting, right, that they seem to be re-releasing some older figures, right? Crunchyroll randomly released the Grandista Gogeta, and now this, right? It's a wonder if Bandai are soft releasing, or re-releasing rather, older figures. Very interesting to see. But besides Gohan, we did get these guys released. I wanted to include at least a couple pictures of the high-grade androids in here, right? Obviously, these are minifigures. I will say they definitely seem like that the quality control has been a little bit better on these lately. However, I still think that, like, they're not great, unfortunately, right? Like, they're kind of cool to have as a set, right? And, like, I know you're probably thinking, why are you dogging on these little minifigures? It's because this whole set is, like, 200 bucks plus, which is absolutely ridiculous for the actual, like, quality that you're getting on these, right? It would be cool to have the full set on the shelf, but not for this price. Like, some of them look okay, like Ader, he looks all right here, right? But then look at, like, the paint job on 18 and 17, how, like, blotchy his hand looks, and just, like, how almost, like, I don't know, gloppy it looks on the faces of the androids. It just doesn't look very high quality for the price that you're paying for these. Anyhow, moving on from the high-grade androids, in terms of our prize figures for early July will be Cell. For mid-July, it will be Goku and Cooler. And then for late July, it will be Gohan. And for our factories, right, China is going to be doing all 4 of these guys, and the re-release for Gohan is going to be Vietnam, which is really interesting because Vietnam has usually been doing the Solid Edgeworks figures, right, which Cell is a part of, so it's kind of interesting that he's being done in China this time. This was also something that is releasing, the framed Dragon Ball art collection, which is kind of cool. These little bits of Dragon Ball art. These will be like 400 yen Gashapon, so these will be something kind of small, but still pretty cool, right? Alright, so now we're getting into... Oh, actually, before I do that, I want to show you Kid Buu. I forgot this guy was in here. Let me save him, Kami, for next. So, Kid Buu was released recently as well, and he actually turned out pretty good, right? It's not like a super insane figure or anything like that, but I think overall it looks fine. You know, like, there's nothing really to complain about here, I feel like. The only thing is maybe he's a little bit smooth. I swear, like, with some Dragon Ball figures, they've been really smoothing out some of the muscle definition, which is really interesting. But, I mean, he doesn't look too bad, right? Definitely not a terrible Kid Buu figure if you're in the market for a cheap Kid Buu just to have on the shelf. Alright, anyway, moving on from the boys. So, we had the newest Ichiban Kuji shown off, the Temple on the Clouds, aka, as you know, the Lookout. And this is really cool, dude. They have some insane stuff. So this is the brand new Ichiban Kuji that we have not yet seen. This is going to be for the 7th month, excuse me. So what is that? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, right? So that'll be the July Ichiban Kuji. First of all, prize B is Kami. Kami looks awesome. Holy cow. Obviously, this is a pretty iconic pose for the character as well, because obviously this is just the pose that Kami hits. I think it's in his introduction, if I'm remembering that correctly. You can correct me in the comments on that one, because I actually don't remember off the top of my head, to be 100% honest with you. But obviously, this is a pose that Kami does in the anime, so this is pretty cool to see a figure of that. And besides Kami, right, he is the prize B. As you can see here, the prize A is Korin and Goku. Yes, that's right. A 2-for-1 combo, which is awesome. It makes sense because obviously both of these figures are going to be pretty small, right? Obviously, Korin is super tiny, right? And Kid Goku is already very small as it is. So it makes sense that they would include these in one box. But this is really, really cool. Obviously, this is supposed to be when Goku's trying to get the super magical, mystical water. I forget the actual name of it. But when he's trying to get the water from Korin at the top of the tower, which is really, really cool. Also, like, a Korin figure? Hello? I'm actually super hyped about this. See, it's so funny. Like, I feel like what they think we get excited about is, oh boy, another Gogeta. But really, it's this. Under-commercialized characters that have not gotten a figure in so long. So I can finally have one on the shelf of this character. Man, this is actually so hype. I'm not even going to lie. I may get every figure in this set. Just like I'm going to get Raditz. This, speaking of Korin, is the next figure here, which you can see is the Prize C Yajirobe. Very, very cool. Definitely a very, very good choice. I will say, I don't know how I feel about the eyes. I'm going to be honest. I think it's just because that is how Yajirobe is in the anime. He kind of has that Krillin eye thing going on, right? Where they're not like the whites of his eyes. They're not colored in. But I don't know. His eyes just look a little bit like too like tilted in maybe or something like that. We'll have to see when we get the actual finals. But this figure overall looks really, really good as well. I'm actually really, really liking this whole set. And if we go up even more, oh, just you wait. We have these, which is the newest thing here. These are obviously the Dragon Archives. So, of course, these are the minifigures. And some great choices here, as you can see. We have King Furry. We have Goku in the caveman fit. We have Baby Piccolo, and we also have Master Mutaito. So these are some very good picks. And I believe we actually have not seen what the last one prize is for this set yet, because obviously these are the smaller prizes, and Yajirobe is C, right? And then Goku and Korin are A, and E is Kami. So if I can include it in this video somehow at the end of the video, I will. Or just check the official Ichiban Kuji Twitter account and we'll talk about it in the next video. I'll try and include it in this video in some capacity, even if it's just like in the comment section below. But yeah, very exciting. I'm honestly super hyped for this set. I'm always excited to get more Dragon Ball stuff because I swear we like never get it. So it's really, really nice to see that they're actually making some figures of Dragon Ball stuff. All right, so the final thing that I want to touch on when it comes to official stuff is a very, very interesting re-release coming up for Dragon Ball. So obviously we've been taking a look. I'm actually pretty excited for that re-release, I'm not gonna lie. But where are we here? Yeah, so this is obviously the official Tamashi Twitter account, right? And they announced these three figures, right? But obviously our concern is Goku. Ultra Instinct Goku is getting a re-release. This is really weird because obviously this month, right, for us and last month for Japan, we just got the Toyotaro Goku, right? Which I was kind of under the impression that the whole point of this figure was supposed to be an easy to access for newer collectors re-release of MUI Goku with some updated head sculpts rather than just re-releasing the figure. Why did they just do this? I don't know. Like, I'm so conflicted on this because it's like on one hand, I like the Toyotaro version better than this guy for sure. And I'm glad that we got him because I think that the book, right, is cool, right? And I think that the, you know, the head sculpts do look better on this guy. And I just like the coloring on the, like the body and the pants better, right? For sure. But it's just kind of like a very curious thing to me. Like, why did they not just then, if they were going to go through all the trouble of doing that for MUI Goku and make like the Toyotaro version, why not just do this re-release in the first place and not bother with that? But at the same time, it's also like I'm glad it got released. And the thing about him getting re-released, specifically this MUI Goku, I'm also conflicted about that. Like, even just taking the Toyotaro, like, well, not out of the equation, because obviously he's kind of the whole reason why I'm conflicted. But, you know, it's good that he's getting re-released because obviously then people who either miss the Toyotaro version or just in general, that means that this guy will be more readily available and out in the wild, which is only a good thing, right? It's just kind of a strange decision to me. I don't know. I'm very conflicted, right? Because I know for a lot of people too, right? It kind of would have been a case of like, oh, well, if they knew that this guy was getting re-released, they may not have gotten the Toyotaro version because either they like this one better, or I'm assuming that this guy will probably be a little bit less expensive because when he initially released, he was much less expensive than the Toyotaro one because obviously that one comes with the SH FIGUARTS book, right? So, I don't know. It's just a really strange choice. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Apparently, Goku is going to be in September from what this comment says from Tamashi right here. So, I guess keep your eye out for September if you want this guy, if you missed the Toyotaro one, or if you just want to get this guy as well. I honestly might and then use this guy for like customs because it's always good to, I know this is going to be a funny statement, it's always good to have more shirtless Gokus when it comes to SH FIGUARTS for some different head swaps and stuff like that. So I may just get this guy basically just to have another like shirtless Goku body because I am probably going to keep the head on the Toyotaro one, but we'll see. So, very interesting that they are deciding to re-release this guy. Yeah, again, let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on that one. And, very interesting as well, apparently they're also re-releasing Trunks, which is really interesting. As you can see here, 2 more items available in stores March 23rd. Yeah, very, very interesting. Apparently, Law and Trunks are now going to be able to be purchased in stores. So I'm assuming that that probably means, right, like in stores that would be actually selling these guys, because when it comes to like over-the-counter releases, it's kind of interesting because even though they are considered that way, a lot of the time, like actual stores, right, where like, well, I can't say actual stores because it's not like Big Bad Toy Store isn't an actual store. But when I say actual stores, I mean like a store you can walk in, right? Like we're talking, you know, like Target, Walmart, you know, like that type of thing, right? Usually they only have the $35, you know, figures where it's like, you know, oh, you know, like the superhero Goku or the Super Saiyan Vegeta, right? Or like the Super Saiyan Blue Goku, right? Like stuff like that, right? That is usually the type of thing that, you know, they have in those stores. But apparently Trunks is going to be released in actual stores on March 23rd. Because they don't really specify. So if I can get more information on this, I will definitely let you know. I may actually pick this guy up because I definitely have been kind of looking at this guy and wondering if I should get him because I do want a Trunks with this outfit on the shelf. And it is really interesting too, I will say. Somebody did note here, this guy Dragon Ball Figures KR, which funny enough, I think I actually do follow him. He posts some pretty good stuff, but there was a lot of QC issues with Trunks when he initially released, which is really, really interesting, right? Like this person mentions here, here's to hoping someone reviews it first and shows that he has better QC, right? And then this guy says, yeah, I've seen videos where it literally falls apart, right? Can't spend 70 bucks on something like that where you have to glue it together, right? So it'll be interesting to see because I know that there were plenty of QC issues. I remember seeing a lot of that in a bunch of unboxing videos that I watched. So yeah, only time will tell. Maybe I'll see if I can't cop this guy and, you know, end up seeing if I can do a review on him myself. But we'll have to see if I can actually find him in a store, right? Because obviously, you know, being released on the 23rd, right? Like if we go to Big Bad Toy Store here, like if we just type in Trunks, he's just still in stock, right? It's not like they have any like difference between like the re-release or anything. You know, they just still have leftover stock from the original one. So I don't know, it'll be interesting to see. But finally, we have some third-party stuff to take a look at. You guys mentioned in the previous videos that I've been doing on the third-party figure shenanigans that you would like me to continue covering this stuff and keep doing unboxing videos on this stuff. So we are going to do some of that today. So obviously the boy Burst ZG, definitely go check out his Instagram linked in the description. He has a bunch of cool stuff that he's been taking a look at, right? Obviously, in a previous video, we saw that somebody is working on a GT Goku custom head sculpt, which is awesome. Somebody else is apparently working on a, as you can see, right, the manga Goku Galactic Patrol fit, which is really, really cool to see as well. Some Gohan head sculpts, right, with a little bit of windswept hair sculpt. Very, very interesting. Let's see, I don't know who is making these, but it looks like Tonson stuff, but I swear it's not. Because he's too busy working on this. Yeah, this was the main thing that I wanted to show you. So we had a little bit of a teaser from this in a previous video where we showed off Trunks. I believe it was like the taking off the jacket picture. Yeah, this one, right, from the 3D scan. But as you can see here, right, he is coming along very, very nicely, right? You can see that a prototype of the figure is in the boy Tonson's hand. And even that little jacket part that we saw in the last video now has an actual like 3D printed version, and apparently also making some ghosts, which is really, really cool. By the way, if you're wondering why we're not on Tonson's page, Tonson usually posts this stuff for a little bit when it comes to his in-progress pictures, and then takes it down so he doesn't get hit with the the hammer, basically, from you know, the overlords above. But obviously Burst always posts this stuff on his profile, which is very, very nice that somebody is archiving it. But yeah, will be really interesting to see when this guy actually comes to fruition. I will definitely be copping this figure for sure. I really want to get the Tonson Kid Buu, but this figure honestly has me even more excited, if I'm being honest. But I will probably still get that guy and do a video on him. This is also interesting too. Apparently third-party Vegito head sculpts and accessories also being done. Look at this. Very, very cool. Third-party stuff is going crazy right now. Yeah, the studio seems to be HMYR. So it'll be interesting to see where some of this stuff pops up, right? When it comes to the third-party stuff, it's kind of a crapshoot as to like where this stuff will end up being sold, because sometimes it's on like AliExpress, sometimes, you know, like 5K Toys gets it, sometimes Anime Store gets it, right? Just kind of depends, right? For a lot of like the stuff that you see that we've been talking about with these head sculpts, it isn't Tonson, right? Because Tonson is partnered with Anime Store. We'll have to see where we can actually buy this type of thing. But this was interesting, right? A ripped gi accessory was shown off, right, here by the same company as the Vegito heads, seemingly, right? And interestingly enough, as you can see here, 5K has also talked about this accessory here, which is the Can Custom tearing off for SH FIGUARTS. Honestly, this is pretty cool. Can Custom is a low-key customer. I don't know what that means, but very, very interesting. This is pretty cool, right, in terms of like a little accessory. Is this actually sold out? Let me see. That would be kind of crazy if it already was. Let's look at the all products page, because that would be... Yeah, wow, this was already sold out. That's insane. That went super fast. I will say, how much was this thing actually? Hold on. Okay, $8? That's not that bad. I was kind of thinking if this thing was like super expensive, it probably wouldn't be worth it. But for $8, that's fine. That's pretty cool. It also comes with the hand, right? You can see that the intention is to use this with MUI Goku like he's ripping off the shirt. That is pretty cool, for sure. I will say, though, definitely somebody in the comments has a very good point. Like, you could definitely make this really easily. Just get a little bit of ripped fabric and just put it in Goku's hand and then have it as a display. Obviously, maybe then it doesn't look the same as the plastic, but still, very, very interesting. But yeah, it's curious that, as you can see here, right, Burst talks about here, right, that one that we saw on 5K Toys is actually a different one. Which is really, really interesting. As you can see, right, this one has a little bit of orange in it, and blue, right, rather than the one from 5K has blue only. So very, very interesting, right? I guess it's just kind of whatever accessory you want to make. But at the end of the day, right, you could always just make your own with this pretty easily. However, the final thing that we have for today, I am so excited to show you. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen. We have the Beast Deities Fenrir, aka Broly. Dude, oh my gosh. This thing looks awesome. So if you are unfamiliar, Kong, aka Beast Deities, which funny enough, right, the same company that we just took a look at the Goku Black figure in this video, right? So definitely go check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Fenrir here is a Broly that has been in the works for quite some time. They showed this guy off a long while ago in terms of like a little teaser, but they never showed us like a full render like this until now. And it is really interesting because they teased in the past that this was also going to be a Super Saiyan 4 Broly. Obviously, on your screen right now is Z Broly, like Z Broly Standard, right? Like Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. So it will be interesting to see if that Super Saiyan 4 Broly does come to fruition. They do talk about here that there are going to be 3 versions of this guy, apparently. So I think that it is pretty safe to assume that one of them will, I mean, obviously be this one, but another one will probably end up being Super Saiyan 4 Broly. And it will be interesting to see what the third one is. I'm not exactly sure because I don't remember them ever showing off like another version of this guy before. Let me duplicate the tab for you real quick and scroll back on 5K's Instagram to see if I can find anything. But this is really, really cool for a lot of reasons, right? Obviously, Kong has really been cooking when it comes to their releases, right? They have been releasing a bunch of awesome stuff. So I am really, really excited about this, to be 100% honest with you, because the other big reason, besides the fact that obviously Kong has just been putting out good stuff recently, is the fact that Broly, right, the SH FIGUARTS one that we currently have, is a little bit outdated, right? He's a pretty old figure when it comes to the actual one. Let's look him up on my figure collection real quick. Let's go to Broly, and then we'll go to Broly Legendary Super Saiyan, right? Obviously, we're not talking about the Dragon Ball Super Broly, right? We're talking about Dragon Ball Z Broly, which I believe is right here. We have the original Broly, right, from 2016. Holy cow, that is crazy. Obviously, this guy is pretty old now, and very, very hard to come by, right? Obviously, being a San Diego Comic-Con 2016 exclusive, Broly, for some reason, has always been a con exclusive. When we look at the next one, which is the Super Saiyan version of him, and he's not Legendary Super Saiyan, right? Which is basically just this one, right? But just a different color. With, as well, the, like, actual cloak, not just the hair. He was a lottery in Japan, and, yeah, that was it, apparently. It looks like there was no US release of this guy, as far as I can see. And then this guy from 2018, which funny enough, he was also a convention exclusive for 75 USD for New York, which is really interesting. And as you can see, apparently also limited in Japan. Oh, no, I see. He was sold in... Oh, that's why. Right. Because not only was he the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive in 2018, the Dragon Ball North America tour from 2018. That's why it says Portland and New York City and Dallas. Okay, I was like, well, that makes no sense with it being next to Japan. But yeah, so, oh my gosh, there's so many more places. Holy cow. So obviously, right, Z Broly has not gotten a new SH FIGUARTS figure since 2018, technically, right? Which is what? 6 years ago now? Holy cow, that is insane to think about. If we're talking about the OG, right? 8 years ago? Wow, that's crazy. And not to mention, all of these guys have been exclusive in some way. So it is kind of hard to, you know, have your hands on this, basically. Because obviously, he's such an old figure that, you know, most people either, unless you've been collecting for a fat minute, or you're paying a pretty penny for this guy on the aftermarket, right? You probably won't have that figure in your collection. So it is very, very exciting to see that Kong is going to be making a Z Broly because obviously, right, now we have easy access to one. So hopefully he is priced pretty fairly. Obviously, when it comes to Kong products, right, they can be sometimes a little bit expensive, right? I mean, obviously, Funny enough, if we look at the Rose 3 figures, right, let's go back to all products. These guys, by the way, this is another thing I did want to talk about in this video. These guys are still available, kinda. As you can see, Kong 30 is sold out, which is interesting. It's the shirtless one that's sold out. Kong 31 is still in stock, and Kong 34 is still in stock if you do want to get these. But as you can see, right, I mean, he has Super Saiyan 3, I suppose, but it is still $61, right? So it'll be really interesting to see how they actually price this Broly figure. But I am very, very excited about this. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And again, let me know if you want me to cover more third-party figures. And I finally found the post I was looking for. So this was a little bit of a teaser that we had a very, very fat minute ago, right? As you can see, this was November of last year, right? Where we had Whose Hand, which is very interesting because obviously this is the Xeno Vegeta that Kong has already had up for pre-order before and is obviously coming out later this year, but they were kind of teasing it with Whose Hand, and obviously we now know that this is Beast Deities Fenrir, so it is interesting that they did this with the Dragon Ball Heroes figure. And funny enough, in scrolling way too far trying to find this and realizing that I missed it, so scrolling back up, I actually found this, which I don't think I've ever seen this post before, but this was from February of 2023. So that just shows you how long this has been in production for, right? The first initial teaser of this was here, right? As you can see, decided by Kong Custom, right? So what I am assuming is that, like I said, probably going to be Super Saiyan 4 Broly, right? Which would check out with the fact that he's fighting, you know, Dragon Ball Heroes Vegeta. But according to this, the other one is going to be Super Saiyan 5 Broly, I guess, if this teaser from February of last year is anything to go by. So, yeah, look forward to that. It says more details coming soon, right? We don't actually know when that will be, of course. And this is also just the draft, so if you would like to make some suggestions, you definitely can. Funny enough, I asked will there be a Super Saiyan 4 version, because at the time I was remembering this, and I just want to, like, I want to know, because that's the thing that I'm definitely the most excited for, as much as I am excited for regular Z Broly. That will definitely be the thing that has me the most hyped, so definitely very, very interesting stuff. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think of all of the figures that we took a look at in the comment section below. And with all of that being said, I will catch you in the next one. Dokkan Assets out. Peace. Just wanted to throw this in the end here. We did not actually get the last one prize yet, but we got prize D, which, as you can see, is Shinron in the little vial, which is really, really cool, I have to say. I did not expect to get this as a figure in any meaningful way besides a minifigure, so this is really cool. It's going to be interesting to see how big this thing actually is in comparison to other figures, right? Is this thing going to be as big as a, you know, regular Ichiban Kuji figure? Is it going to be a little bit smaller? It is in its own thing, right? There's no figure that comes with this, so it'll be really interesting to see. But this is prize D, right? Which is really interesting. Also, a new thing that they're doing as well, apparently called Master Live Collection. Obviously, for Ichiban Kuji, they've done Master Lies for a little while now, but I guess this is something new that they're doing. Maybe it'll be something like all the Dragon Ball like items, and then they'll make them into Ichiban Kuji figures, and they'll use that kind of moniker for it. So that will be really, really interesting. But yeah, this being prize D probably means that we'll be seeing the LO tomorrow, so I will put that in the description and in the comments when we actually get it, because the interesting thing about this is that prize E is the minifigures, right? These Dragon Archives figures. So obviously there's not going to be another figure in this Ichiban Kuji, you know, past D, because E is this one, right? So the LO will be next, and that will be the full Ichiban Kuji. So very, very interesting, and we will have to see when that eventually drops. So very cool. I'm excited. I know a lot of people are speculating it's probably going to be Mr. Popo, because, I mean, obviously talking about everybody who lives on the tower, right? That would only make sense. I mean, we already have Yajirobe, Kami, and Korin, right? So it would only, you know, feel right that Mr. Popo would then be the last character for that. And as well, I wanted to throw this picture in here. Obviously, I know we have been looking at these two as a pair for a little while now. I don't know why there's blue hearts there, but I just wanted to show you a picture of these two bad boys posed up together. They look fantastic. I'm definitely going to have to get these two and have them posed next to each other because this looks awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.